Hey there, survivors. How's it going? I'm your host, Douglas, here at Drownboy Productions, bringing you another Screaming Ghostface Collectors video. Today's video is on another absolutely amazing find. Guys, I know I have had a couple of just really insane scores recently. This has been one of them that definitely caught me off guard. Towards the end of October, I ended up removing the eBay app from my phone so I would not be tempted to spend any money on anything that was not absolutely necessary. Regardless of how good a deal it may be, I just needed to focus. So I took it off my phone and have not been buying much. Hence one of the reasons why you guys haven't seen too many videos, as well as just being busy. Well, I recently re-downloaded the app and was greeted back with an absolutely amazing find. You probably already know what it is by the title and thumbnail because I like to just tell you what it is pretty much. That way you'll click on it and want to check it out, find out what this is. When it comes to the Ghostface character, there are a few items that are absolutely key and iconic to that character. There's the mask and robe, of course, the Buck 120 knife, a phone of some sort, and of course, the voice changer. Ghostface's original voice changer for years and years was thought to be one of these, by many people, included myself. Even for a while, people always thought that the original voice changer in Scream was actually a handmade piece and that this was like the original that it was modeled after. So we always kind of accepted this as the original. They also came in this style box, so you could have seen the originals like this in either of these packages. To find even one of these is pretty darn rare. They are very hard to come across, and they usually command a pretty decent price. Nothing too crazy, but still for like an old voice changer, pretty high I would say. And then for Scream 2022, the killers used one of these voice changers, which is essentially the same thing as what we just took a look at, but it doesn't have all the lettering painted in, stuff like that. It's slightly different quality-wise, but as far as the make and model, it's obviously made to be the same. Well, after the Scream 1996 4K release came out, many people started looking closer at different things like the boots, which we were able to identify thanks to Nate, as well as the voice changer for sure not being one of these. But an original had still never been found. For 20 plus years, an original had never surfaced. Until now. Screaming Ghostface fans, I would love to present to you what is currently the only known existing original Scream 1996 voice changer prop. This is absolutely amazing, guys. Yet again, something I did not plan to come across, and it is such a simple piece here. On the front, you have the stylized telephones with the telephone voice changer logo. Then you have a little LED here that says power on to indicate when it's turned on. On the bottom, you have two switches. On the left, you have an on and off for the power, and on the right, a high frequency and a low frequency. That's it. There's no adjustment slider to make the voice sound different like these later ones. You just have high and low. That's all. On the back, it says Made in China, and you can see a ring of adhesive here where I presume there was a soft foam padding coming out, just like on some of these other voice changers. That's missing from it, but otherwise, this thing is full original. Not brand new at all, and I'm pretty sure the owner who sold this to me said that it does not work, but honestly, I do not care. Even if it was just the solid plastic box that it is, with that logo on it, that is still exceedingly cool. Oh, and as far as brand, this was made by Goldtronic. And after finding that out and trying to search for even other things Goldtronic related, there's not too many items out there online. And what is out there seems to be pretty much from the 1980s. So I presume that this voice changer is probably also from the 1980s. Could be earlier 90s, but I think that they said, whenever they found it, they being JP and Skip, that it was already an older piece to some degree. But that brings us to another point. They really didn't remember a whole lot about the voice changer other than the fact that it was a store-bought original product. And ever since Nate did that interview where JP mentioned it, I have been on the hunt, he has been on the hunt, and several other eagle-eyed Scream fans have been on the hunt for an original. And this one just so happened to fall in my lap. When I mentioned this to Nate, he was absolutely blown away to say the least, and actually almost had a car accident because of it. But, you know, instead of me describing it, I think I'll go ahead and throw an excerpt in here of Nate talking about it himself.
What's up, guys? It is Nate here from Reagan Productions, and I am here to congratulate Douglas, Drownboy Productions, on what I am going to go ahead and call probably the most significant find in the hobby this year. I know it's early, but I don't see too many finds happening this year that are going to outdo this one. He has found the original voice changer from 1996's Scream. Guys, I'm telling you, this has been one of my top wants in the hobby since I saw this movie for the first time in 1996. We all did. We all wanted, whenever you saw it, it didn't matter. Everyone wanted that voice changer. Of course, the internet wasn't what it is now back then, so you were very limited on being able to find something like that. And as most of you are aware, this was the closest thing that we could get. Very similar phone image. In fact, it might even be the same one. But basically what you have here is a Chinese knockoff of the original. Shaped a little bit different, a little bit smaller, rounded, more buttons. But this was for most people in the community, this was their voice changer. This was the Scream / Ghostface voice changer. But again, we all acknowledge that it wasn't the exact same one. It looked different. And because people had searched for so long, nothing even came up, not even a photo. It was always assumed for the longest time that what they used on screen had to have been custom made, that it was likely just a white project box from Radio Shack or something that they put the decals on. Heck, maybe they even had one of these and copied it, you know. That was the assumption. It wasn't until last year, during one of my conversations I was having with JP Jones, where he said, no. That was not something that we had made, or it wasn't just a prop laying around. He's like, I bought that. I bought that for the movie at a costume shop. It's 110% a real world item. It exists. It's out there somewhere. It was still hard to believe because, like I said, over 25 years, me personally, and I know other people, have looked, never even saw a photo of the same one that was used in the original Scream. So even then, it was like, is it a real world item though? Could it really exist? Is it even possible? Wouldn't one have turned up by now? Well, it's turned up. We have it. Douglas has it. We as in a community, we now have the information. It is real. It does exist. Anyways, I just want to congratulate Drown Boy Productions, my good friend Douglas, on this amazing find, which I am calling right now is the most significant find in the hobby of 2024, and very likely will remain as such. Congratulations, Douglas. I'm jealous, but it went to the best home it could possibly go to. I guess I'll just have to stick with mine for now. Later, guys. After Douglas found this, I couldn't believe it, and I was like losing my mind. I was driving when I got the photo, and I couldn't type fast enough. I had to pull over. And I immediately texted it to JP, the photos of it, and I said, please tell me this is it. He immediately remembered, that's the one, that's 100% it. I remember the brand at the top, and I remember taking it off with like a little scratch pad to hide it. We might even put a little bit of something white there to cover it up. But he specifically remembered instantly. He goes, yes, that's 100% it. Great work tracking that down. So there you have it. Confirmed by JP Jones. That's 100% the same voice changer that was used in Scream 1996. He even remembers the brand now and taking the brand name off of it. Guys, I'm telling you, we used Google image search after Douglas found this, and there's nothing. There's barely any like other products from this company out there. I'm not saying there aren't any, because they are. But it's like anything from this company is so rare at this point that I really don't know if we'll ever see another one pop up. Fingers crossed it does. But this was not one of those finds where, oh, well, now we know the brand, so now you just get on eBay and, oh, look, there's been 50 of them on there the whole time. We just didn't know the brand. No, it's almost like, it's a unicorn for sure. It's like this mythical thing. It's like this mythical thing that just popped up, and Drown Boy found it, and I don't know if we're going to find another unicorn, guys.
All right, welcome back. Hopefully that worked out and you guys got to see it. And thank you, Nate, for throwing in that little excerpt. So yeah, guys, there's not a whole lot to show in this video. And I mean, from what I'm showing you, it is just a small plastic box. I can't turn it on and give you a demonstration, anything like that. I don't know what the box looks like. Nothing there. I cannot find pictures even of another one of these online anywhere. Any sold searches, ever. So as far as I know, this is the first one to pop up, and I am extremely happy that it ended up here in the Screaming Ghostface Museum. If it does leave and it goes anywhere, it's already promised to Nate Reagan. And just to stress how cool this is yet again, we already knew Ghostface was wearing a Generation 1 Weeping Ghost. Check. As far as the robes, those were custom made for production. You'll have to go with a replica or something like that, so check there. The boots. Nate, as well as a few others, were able to identify that they were Reebok's box boots. We know what the exact model looks like. They're still very hard to come by, but we know what they are. Check. When it comes to the Buck 120, we figured out that it was the Buck 120C from 1995 that Ghostface used. Check there. Whenever it comes to the Ghostface phone, the AT&T 3850 is what Billy Loomis used, as well as pretty much the Ghostface character. The only thing that we have not been able to find an original copy of was the voice changer. So now with this out there, they may not all be in the same place at the same time, but we have finally unearthed everything, I guess except for the underclothes, that Ghostface used in the 1996 Scream. Alright, with that being said, I think there's not a whole lot left to talk about. If you guys would be interested in seeing maybe a full Ghostface voice changer history, since at this point I have pretty much every version that's been featured in the films, let me know in the comment section down below. But outside of that, not a whole lot left to say. I'll be sure to give you guys some nice close-ups. I love you all. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.